Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. As always, thank you for taking time out of your day to watch the videos. I really appreciate it. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and discuss. So before we get into these topics, do me a big favor, be sure to hit the like button to help the video out and show your support. And if you are new here to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button as well. We're starting here talking about a relatively significant marketing deal that Sony may have struck with Ubisoft for a big upcoming game. So this is reading from WCCF Tech, where they say Sony might have very well struck a deal with Ubisoft for the marketing of the upcoming Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. Finally unveiled last year, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora is coming to PS5, Xbox Series consoles, PC, as well as Stadia and Luna, but it's possible that Sony has secured the exclusive marketing rights for the Ubisoft massive developed first-person action-adventure game. Although not directly confirmed just yet by either Sony or Ubisoft, the title was shown during Sony's corporate strategy meeting for fiscal year 2022. During this meeting, Sony's chairman, president, and chief executive officer, Kenichiro Yoshida, talked about relationships with third-party publishers, after which logos of various heavily promoted titles were shown. Shown titles included Ghostwire Tokyo, NBA 2K, Grand Theft Auto 5, Deathloop, as well as the upcoming Hogwarts Legacy, timed exclusives Forspoken and Final Fantasy XVI, and also Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. As said, this is a rumored deal between Sony and Ubisoft and hasn't been confirmed in any way just yet, so for now, we have to take it with a pinch of salt. But a lot of people kind of picked up on this because, you know, every other game that was shown up here, we kind of already knew about the marketing deals. You take something like Grand Theft Auto 5, Hogwarts Legacy, and then more obvious things like Forspoken, and Avatar Frontiers of Pandora was really the only one that kind of stuck out. And so at this point in time, yeah, it does seem very likely that this is a game that's going to be marketed with Sony alongside the PS5, and it has the potential to be a pretty big game. The most interesting aspect about it, in my opinion, is the fact that it's going to be like a current gen only game, and it's probably not going to be out for a while. But something else I do want to mention here is this may also be a sign of a upcoming Sony showcase, because we know that if Sony does do a big summer showcase, third-party games and partners are going to be a big part of it. This would be a game that you maybe would expect to show up at something like that, especially now considering it seems all but confirmed that it's going to be marketed alongside Sony and the PS5. But we're moving to the next topic, which talks about The Last of Us Remake for PS5 and how it is apparently a major holiday release for Sony this year. So this is reading from Push Square. They say The Last of Us Remake is one of the industry's worst kept secrets, and it's not far off. That's according to journalist Jeff Grubb, who's reiterating rumors that have been swirling for several months now. According to Jeff Grubb, who is speaking on the Kinda Funny Games cast, he, quote, keeps hearing that the game is coming out this year, end quote. He added, quote, you've got to keep in mind that The Last of Us Part 2 came out a while ago, and there's people at that studio who are looking around for something to do. It's a pretty efficient and well-oiled machine over there at Naughty Dog, and they don't have to do much because that's the whole point. It's a game they can update really quickly, end quote. Grubb reiterated that he's fairly confident the remake is coming out this holiday and that it will be one of Sony's big games. While the HBO television adaptation is not due to release until next year, he rightly pointed out that it doesn't matter too much if the launches aren't aligned. The plan will be to have a product already available on shelves for when the show drops. So yeah, I thought that this was some pretty interesting information to be getting at this moment in time, because back in January, we had another very reliable leaker, that being Tom Henderson. He said that he heard from multiple people now that The Last of Us Remake is nearly finished and could release during the latter half of 2022. Now, considering it's a remake and considering that we are pretty much hearing for nearly 6 months at this point that, yeah, the game is almost done, at this point I do feel confident that this is a game that Sony will have lined up to release before the end of this year, and it would make sense for it to be a big holiday release. And if this is the case, we are looking at a pretty solid second half of 2022. Assuming that God of War Ragnarok drops, we'll have that. We'll also have The Last of Us Remake, and then we're looking at Forspoken, and who knows, maybe there could be something else in there. Maybe not necessarily something directly from PlayStation Studios, but maybe from a partner. And, you know, there's been a lot of talk about Final Fantasy 16. I think it would be a little too packed if that was also going to be thrown in the mix. But again, you have to kind of wonder when exactly Sony is planning to reveal this, if it is set to come out this year, and when they're planning on starting the marketing. Again, all signs point to a showcase. But the final thing I want to say here before moving on to the next topic is I do wonder what role the Last of Us Online game is going to play with this. I wonder if this is a situation where Sony wants to reveal both side by side, and if it's possible that The Last of Us Online could also release this year, or maybe they want to put out The Last of Us Remake first and then the online. We'll have to wait and see, but nonetheless, it's looking like, you know, Sony does have plans for the second half of this year, that's for sure. We're going to move on to the next topic here, which is a write-up from Gaming Bolt that I want to relay to you guys. The title says, Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO details plans for PlayStation's growth at a corporate strategy meeting. Sony Interactive Entertainment has released the details of its corporate strategy meeting for the financial year of 2022, which took place recently at the company's head office in Tokyo, Japan, and was hosted by SIE CEO Kenichiro Yoshida and CFO Hiroki Totoki. While most of the meeting was about Sony's plans moving forward as a whole, a lot of the meeting was also about the future of PlayStation. According to the meeting, Sony plans on continuing its investment in video games. The recent Bungie acquisition was also brought up as playing a key role for Sony in the long term, thanks to Bungie's experience and knowledge in running live service games. Yoshida also answered a few questions during the Q&A session of the meeting, where the CEO stated that when it comes to acquiring new studios and companies, Sony considers whether it would be able to contribute to the studio. Another key area of growth for Sony is the ability to make use of its gaming IPs for adaptation in other styles of media. An example shown off in the presentation was the Uncharted movie and its commercial success. Yoshida stated that Sony is going to continue to raise the value of its gaming properties through cross-promotions and adaptations. And something else that's also worth noting with this meeting and what Sony CEO was saying is how something they're taking very seriously is trying to get closer to creators and people who are, you know, at the forefront of creating these games and creating this type of content, and how in Sony's eyes, the way that they're going to be able to improve the overall quality of their content, of their games, and everything else regarding PlayStation is by getting closer to these creators, whatever that means exactly. I'm assuming that means in trying to give more creative freedom and allowing them to kind of do things in the way that, you know, they think is best as the creative. And so I think that's good news. And so at this point, you guys can let me know what you think about what Sony CEO is saying about PlayStation's future growth at their corporate meeting strategy. We're moving on to the final topic now, though, and it talks about a PlayStation VR2 launch title that has officially been confirmed. It says here, reading from PlayStation Universe, Coatsink has revealed that it has been selected to develop a PSVR2 launch game, although further details have not yet been disclosed. Speaking in a financial document by Thunderful, the team at Coatsink revealed that the new project cements the workforce's top role in the VR industry, and through them, we are now in a great position to influence the future of VR business and technology. While there's no confirmation that the PSVR2 game is in fact related to Jurassic World, it should be noted that Coatsink is currently developing a Jurassic World-themed title by the codename Jaffa, which just so happens to be in the works for VR hardware. This is all just speculation, but there's a strong chance that the game may be the PSVR2 launch title that is currently in the pipeline. So I wanted to tell you guys about this because, again, we're continuing to hear from these development teams that they're working on PSVR2 titles, specifically in this case, a launch title. And at this point, it does seem highly likely that we could be looking at a Jurassic World themed launch PSVR2 title. And at this point, it's just a matter of waiting to see when it's going to be revealed. And hopefully it's of quality. Hopefully it's something good. But I've said it time and time again, Sony's going to have to make sure that if they want to get people excited about PSVR2, they're going to have a very solid and a very strong launch lineup. So yeah, that's all the news I have for you guys today. At this point, I want you to leave all your thoughts down in the comments below. Again, be sure to leave the video a like if you did enjoy it or found it informative. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the bell notification icon and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.